This is the mandate for Vega. Stay back, relax, listen on. Start of my career in professional wrestling, and remember to subscribe to ChopsVideo on YouTube. Hit the bell notification so that you don't miss other interviews. Y guste o no te guste, esa es la que hay.
You mentioned Spada. When did you head that way over towards Spada in the WWA?
Spada, funny story. I met Spada while working for Rocco still. Rocco did this ring rental for Brittnay Browns. Patty. Love Patty. Great girl. She was running an all-woman show in Randolph at this hotel. And Rocco did the ring rental. And I remember, going to Rocco, and Rocco's like, yeah, dude, you guys are going to work tonight. It was like myself, Gino Giovanni, Thrash. I don't know if you remember him. And
oh, yeah, I remember
Pierre
Thrash.
Mountain. Yeah, so they had a whole bunch of people from the office at the time. Like Jim Cornette was there. I don't know if Jim Ross showed up for that. I think he was there. They have Moolah. They have Mae Young. I mean, a long list of names. So anyways, long story short, Gino ended up managing Moolah, I believe. Thrash ended up working Ray Roy, and they wanted to do a mixed tag and throw me in there. So I'm still green. I'm still green as F. And I don't know any better. So I'm like, I'm not wrestling no girl. So, Spada found out about that, and that put the bird on, like we would say in the business. Mike hated me since that point. So now we go past a few years, and one time I show up to one of his shows because my buddy Little Killer would work for him from time to time, and he would work Short Sleeve Samson. So I show up to the show. Bobby Cruz was booking for him at the time, and Bobby comes over to me. He's like, Pun, come here. I need to talk to you. I'm like, what? Bro, you're getting me so much heat being here. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're getting me heat. Mike's flipping. He says I want you in the building. I'm like, what? So anyways, Mike hated me. And, the first interaction that I had with Mike Sparta was him coming and passing by me and giving me the eye, going back and forth. Finally, he stops over and he's like, you're that Punisher kid, huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you work for that guy Eugenio. That's not the word that he used. I'm keeping it PG here. He's like, oh, you work for that Eugenio, huh? I'm like, yeah. All right. So he walks by me, whatever. Nothing happened that night. I go back to a second time to another show. I buy my ticket. I'm with my dad this time around. He comes over against something. Yeah, that freaking Punisher kid. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, you still working for that Eugenio? I'm like, yeah. Again, he used the word that I'm not gonna. You can imagine, but I'm not gonna say. And then he comes over to me.
I do swear on these, not that you have to. I'm just saying you don't.
You do? Okay, so he's like, oh, you work for that faggot Eugenio? I'm like, yes, I do. He's like, fuck him, he says. So I'm like, okay, and walk away from me. So he comes back later on, and he's like, you brought your gear? I'm like, yeah, I always bring my gear. He's like, okay. Goes by again. He's like, you want to work tonight? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll work. He's like, I'm like, can I get the money that I pay for get that box for me and my father? Forget it. Don't worry about it. So then, a few months pass, and I go to another show, and this time it's a big show. He used to run the Norwood Civic Center, and it was a big show, probably like over 1,500 people in the place. Main event, I think, was Steven Richards against Mike Bell, Mad Dog. And I got to talk to him again. He did his spiel with the Eugenio thing and all that stuff. And he mentioned that he needed a Spanish guy. And at that time, Bert Centeno, El Mascarado, was working for him. And Bert had put the word bring Vega in. He's a good guy. Once you get to work with him, you're gonna look at him. He's a loyal dude. Bring him in. So he talked to me. He's like, you can work for me, but you can't work for Eugenio. And I was kind of like already, on my way out from Eugenio anyways. So that's how it happened. He gave me his number. We talked. His first idea was Paredes. Jose Perez might agree with this. At the same time, I guess he was talking to Perez about bringing him in. And he calls me one day. He's like, Don Vega, I got a great gimmick for you. I'm like, what is it, Mike? He's like, you're going to be a judge. I'm like, what? And he had this distinct voice. He's like, yeah, you're going to be a judge. I'm going to call you Downtown Vega Brown. I'm like, what? Yeah, like just Joe Brown. He's the hottest thing on television. I'm like, it's not going to happen, Mike. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. Vince is going to love it. You're going to be a judge. You look like Gito Brown. You're going to be Downtown Vega Brown. I'm like, it's not going to happen, Mike. I'm talking to Perez. He's going to be your baby. I'm like, okay, if Jose does that deal, I'll do the judge. So he calls Jose. He's like, yep, you're good. I got a great gimmick. You're going to be with Vega. He's going to be a judge. You're going to be his baby. You're going to be, you're going to go out there. And you're going to be like, hear ye, now stand for the judge downtown. And Jose Perez shut it down. And I shut it down. He's like, you fucking guys, you never want to listen. That's why you're never going to get a job. And he brought us in. This was the first time me and Perez actually tagged, other than, our interactions in Primal and in Yankee Pro by ourselves. Me and Perez tagged as the Desert Destroyers. And he brought us in while we was having heat with the Middle East. The war was going on. He wanted some dudes, terrorists type tag team. And we had the hoods. We had the whole getup, man. The army, the freaking turbans. We had everything. And the first match we came in for Spada was against Sabu and Perry Saturn in a tag match. And we worked those guys over the weekend. And then next thing on, we worked with Sergeant Slaughter and Matt Bourne and a host of different people. And then eventually we got off the hoods. And me and Perez tagged as ourselves, and then Perez had a falling out with Mike, and I continue on to work for Mike as myself.
You've been in there with a lot of named wrestlers, huh? Like a long list.
Yeah, long list, man. I look at it as being blessed because a lot of the younger guys now could only go back and watch these guys. Some of them just on videotape because some of them are gone. That's why, definitely Eugenio's on that list of my promoters that I've liked and been my favorites over the years. He gave me a lot of opportunities to work all these guys that he would bring in, just to mention a few. I like I said, my first one was Cake. I've worked King Kong Bundy several times. He's gone. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Tony Atlas. I think if you were ever talk to Tony, we had one of those runs of the yearly shows, working every night, sometimes twice on Saturdays. I think I've worked Tony over 150 times, legit, bro, no bullshit. So, I got to learn a lot from all these guys. Tito Santana is another one that I got to work with. I mean, Tatanka, Greg Ballantyne. It's to me, going back and looking at all these guys that I grew up watching. Those were my guys. That was my era. Those were the guys that I watched and wanted to be like. To be able to say I wrestle these guys and have those tapes and back and reflect on that, it's a blessing, man. I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like them guys are the last of the guys to pass on that knowledge and that legacy of what we were talking about earlier, the psychology and stuff.
Yes.
Like they're like
yeah,
the end
definitely.
of,
Definitely, man. And Tony for me was like he was a funny guy, likable guy, cool dude. And people will overlook certain guys, but with him I learned to slow down, to make everything you do stand out and mean a lot more than just doing 100 things make one punch count for 400 punches. Because if you throw 100 punches, you're not strong. You're weak. You know what I mean? If you throw one punch and you knock a guy out, then you're really strong. So details like that I learned working with guys like Tony and Tito that would tell me, take your time, kid, slow down, get the audience involved. If the people care for you, you can stand in the ring and they're going to either cheer or boo you for who you are and because they care. You don't have to do shit. And little by little, that's what I learned from those guys.
Like the super kick or the DDT's been destroyed, or the Canadian Destroyer. First time you seen the Canadian Destroyer, that was like, he's dead, match over. Now it's like you see 50 of them.
Yeah, that's just a cutoff now. That says that you take that and you pop up and take some other shit. It's like a back body drop used to be a huge maneuver back in the day. That was like a finish. Nowadays, you back body drop somebody, that's like so that he could get up and bump and feed for you. So
a bear hug was a finish. I mean, I understand it's got to evolve a little bit, but slowly, a little bit at a time. You don't go from 0 to 9,000.
Yeah, definitely. And you can still make those things count. You can still slow the fuck down and still get these things over like they're bigger than what they are. Still because what's old, it could be new again. Especially now that people don't know so much about history. You can go back and grab something that somebody was doing 50 years ago and bring it back and make it your own, and it's new again.
Well, that's what I say. Just put a little modern twist on it to make it seem new, and people go nuts for it. CM Punk's proved that. You watch AEW at all? He come out with that interview, and he didn't say a word and walked out. And did you see how over that was?
Yes. Yeah. He's done that, and Jericho did that for a while when he came back. When he was he was just going up there and being annoying with the suits and not saying a word. That's another guy that's been great over the years of reinventing himself and grabbing stuff that was old and making it new again. Chris Jericho.
There's so many little things that you can do. I think that the new people have gotten rid of all the little things, and it's like I was saying to somebody the other day. It's like they watch a clip on YouTube, like they see Jimmy Snuka get busted with the coconut, and they're like, we're going to do that. And they bring somebody up and smash a coconut over their head, and they're like, look, it's the same. They bring somebody out and like rip the cross off their neck, and they're like, look, it's the same as Hogan and Andre. It's like, no, you're missing everything that led up to that. It's not the same. But to them, they think they're doing the same thing.
It's not. Those guys used to, but that's why, perfect example of what you're saying is, still to this day, they bring older guys to draw a crowd because those guys, the amount of time that went into building those people and the believability that they had and the care that the fans had for those guys, it doesn't compare with some of the guys that are out there right now. So to this day, they still bring, the old school guys. Like I just had the WrestleMania press in Texas, and they had Austin and Undertaker up there because, again, those were the guys that were the huge stars, and I think the last one of that was Cena. The guys, unfortunately, I don't think it's the same, even though I am a fan of what Roman's doing right now.
Yeah, I haven't watched WWF in years. I just watched like small stuff. I do watch AEW some.
That stuff's been good, man. AEW, those matches they had recently with like Bryan and Eddie Kingston and Punk and all those guys, man. Hell of a good matches. I enjoy, that physicality and going at it type. That's what I like. So I've enjoyed those.
It's good as long as the guy in the match is good and knows what he's doing. Like them guys know. Daniel Bryan knows what he's doing. Eddie Kingston knows what he's doing. Punk knows what he's doing. You go aside that, I can't stand watching the Young Bucks and stuff like that. But it's like they do that, and then the next match, the Bucks come out and squash the whole. It's like, how can you go from that to that?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing, I think those guys hurt themselves because you go on from like Eddie and Bryan, and you obviously see guys are beating the shit out of each other, and they're going hard. And then you see these guys doing all this tap dancing going on out there. It drives me nuts, this leg slapping and and all this crap.
You notice they're all hurt now and taking time off.
If you're doing stupid crap, it doesn't surprise me, and you're still making it look like shit sometimes, it's even worse.
I think they are hurt, but I think it's also they've been hurt for a long time. I think they're taking time off because of how hot the other guys are that they can't keep up, and they don't know what to do to outshine them because they're getting outshined.
Well, that's the only thing. Like you said, if they continue on having guys that can go hard, having those type of competitive matches that are legit, then these other guys that are doing the bullshit slapping and the flippies and all that stuff, they're gonna have to gear it up and start really going at it. And I don't know. I don't know if that's what they want. I don't know if that's what they're gonna shoot for.
Right. Problem is they're in the office. You know what I mean? They put them guys in the office.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they got Tony Nese, they got Bobby Fish over there. Even Adam Cole, he can go. They got some guys over there that can go.
All those guys. All those guys could go, and they don't need for leg slapping and flipping and doing all these wasted movements in the ring.
They do 18 flips, 14 finishes, and then 5 minutes later they'll do like the weakest move and finish it with it. It's like, how did that finish after you just got up after 18 of them other things?
Yeah, 20 busters, and then you go and roll the guy up, and that's the finish. Roll up.
Yeah, or they'll slap them or something. Like a tag team, you ever notice that? Like they come in and they like slap them or one punch and they lay down for 15 minutes. It's like, how were you selling that when they just did that to you and you didn't sell none of that?
You drives me crazy. Bunch of shit. Yeah, that definitely drives me insane as well, bro. Sometimes I just don't watch. I started watching some of the stuff again with WWE a couple of weeks back because I had the opportunity to go down to the PC a couple of weeks back, so I had to catch up and know what was going on and who was there and all that stuff. So I started watching again.
Yeah, I seen the pictures of you down there. I was going to ask you what you were doing down there.
Yeah, they gave me a little tryout. I went up, and at this point, I'm just blessed with getting the invite and going up there. I don't lie to myself. There was a point in time that I knew that if I got in at that time, I was gonna have a run. It didn't happen. But at this stage, really, what I'm trying to do is more of the production side of things, more of the behind the scenes stuff, helping other guys, sharing. I was actually catching up with Kenny Doane down there. He's a producer and a trainer, and we were actually shooting about all our experiences, share some spa stories together. And, he was talking to me about how he shares, experiences that we had from all of the guys here with the students, because they don't have no idea about the indies. They don't have no idea. Some of these guys don't know about the indies. They don't know about the crawling and scratching that you have to do, you under this bubble, and you're trained to just be in this bubble. And then when that bubble pops, if you want to continue to make a living at this business that you learned for the last 3, 4, 5 years, you have to know what's out there. So, he's trying to educate guys on that. And he's like, yeah, they should bring guys more, the last guys that had that experience, to work, the old school veterans that did it in the little shitty places for shit money, that travel, that know what it is to really want to make it in the fucking wrestling business. Because a lot of guys just get handed stuff sometimes, and it's a shame. It's like a lost art.
Right. A lot of you guys did it just to do it, not for the money, and not for, you were doing it anyway. Well, like you said, even the guys today that did work the indies worked that one show a week, one show every other week, not 3 shows a week, 4 shows a week, like you were saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Which is closer to the territory system as compared to now. Like even when they cry about like AEW or Hangman having to take time off, his wife had a baby, I'm like, they work once a week. What do you mean? He can't fly in have a match and fly back home? I don't get Yo, all these poor people,
Yeah,
they get rough. Like, really? They got rough? Like, they're not doing no house shows. They're not doing.
yeah, yeah. They're not working like the old school guys, 300 days a year, nonstop. Definitely not what it used to be. And even in the indies, if you were working a lot, you would work, 3-4 times a week, and there was no I'm gonna go take time off because I'm having a family gathering or a birthday party, or I don't feel so good. There was none of that shit. You don't come, you lose your spot. Now there's more of that going on around, more of the sympathy card going around wrestling now.
I remember a clip of you played a police officer on WWE at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, they've had me there in several occasions doing several things. Cop, freaking EMT, infiltrate fan. I mean, it's so many things. For me, probably the biggest one there, other than the experiences, and obviously, I've had the chance to have like matches beforehand and stuff like that, and learn from it's like Fit Finley and Regal, and get critiqued by those guys and learn from those guys. Which to me, that's the part that I'm there for. You know what I mean? The part of getting the paycheck and being an extra in a spot for television, that's cool because you get the exposure. But to me, the learning experience, it's what the payoff is, for me. All these years that I've gone many different times, that's been paid for me. Probably the biggest one that I recently done for them was that WrestleMania one with Batista. That was a cool one. Just being there and getting to be on stage for WrestleMania, that was definitely a cool one.
What were you? I didn't see it.
The Batista thing was in that the retirement match with Triple H. He came out with his bodyguards and the freaking SUV trucks and stuff like that. I was one of those guys. I was riding the SUV truck on the outside and stuff like that, mobster style, for the Batista entrance.
Oh, I think I did see you posted a clip of it, didn't you? I think you posted a clip of it, maybe.
Yeah. That was cool, man. Just it's a surreal feeling to go out there and just see like this miniature freaking people, 80,000 people around you. Definitely a cool moment for me.
Now you must have had an in to start doing that. How did you first start to get to do them?
So the first time I got my opportunity to get looked at by WWE was back in 2007 while I was working for Spada. Spada used to have actually, the office come in from time to time. He had Dr. Tom come in. And Dr. Tom Pritchard used to host these clinics while he was still the head of talent relations down in WWE. I lost you there. I'm back.
Yeah, you popped off. You
so
popped
yeah,
right back on.
I started doing those. I worked with Tom. Then after that, Tom got released from the position. Dreamer took over for a little bit, and then finally Mike Bucci, Supernova, became the talent relations guy there, and he came over and he did a seminar and a clinic at Mike's show, and I got to work in front of him. And in the beginning, I thought he didn't like me. Second time around, I got to talk to Mike. He was actually, he thought I had something going, and he decided to give me an opportunity, and he booked me. First show I ever got booked was at the Garden in New York, and I got to do a little spot with Crime Time when they were doing the whole. They would steal something and sell it to people and shit like that. I was one of the guys they were trying to sell the Lillian seat to, her chair that she was sitting on. So that was my first go with them. And then from there on, I just kept pursuing it. Different people took over in the office. My guy was Bucci. He definitely liked work. He definitely was trying to work with me. He definitely wanted to get me hired at that time, which I'm talking about 2007 at this point. And if Bucci would have never got let go, I believe I would have probably got my run. Who knows? I probably would have had a course there, and I would have been more former, whatever, doing my runs in the Indies. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? But definitely, Bucci was my guy. You always get a guy that believes in you, and I think he was the one for me. And when he got released, I was heartbroken. I had to start all over again, and I just kept in the office. I just kept in the system ever since then, and they've had me back many times. And like I always said, if they want a Puerto Rican dude that's legit, that could cut a promo in Spanish, bald-headed, rough-looking, rugged dude, I'm gonna have a job. If that's what they're looking at for at that time, I'm gonna have a job. If they're not looking for that, then I never lie to myself. I was just happy to be there, happy to make some money and get some exposure.
You said you did some dark matches for him?
Yeah, that I done. And nowadays they don't really have dark matches. I seen that they started doing them again here and there. I mean, NXT definitely had like local guys, but in Raw, they're far in between when they have them. I think Keith Lee, they did something with him before he got released that he started doing dark matches. But what they would do towards the end now, the recent years, is that before every taping or before when they were taping SmackDown and even when they went live, they would have matches. And the matches would happen before they opened doors. And all the aides would be out there, which is worse because now your audience is all the agents and the boys. So some of the boys are watching this. And the monitors are rolling, and they got cameras all over the backstage, even Vince's office. So you don't know if Vince is in there watching. You don't know who's watching this, and you get to go 5-minute match. They want to see what you could do from bell to bell, and that's how it works. And I guess for the times that I've been, like I said, my first goal was in 2007. To this day, I'm still getting invites. It sucks that I haven't gotten anything consistently, but I'm grateful. So I guess I've done pretty good in the times they've seen me, if they keep bringing them back.
They're obviously still looking at you if they, your name's still popping up.
Yep. So like I said, I'm just happy to be blessed with the opportunities because I know a lot of guys are gunning out for the same. So I'm happy.
Before we get too far away from the topic, any other Mike Sparta stories?
Wow, Mike Sparta, I could pick and choose, man. Is any one particular story that you might heard from somebody else that you want to confirm before I just pick a random one?
No, just everybody says, "Oh my God, Mike Sparta stories." Oh my God, but I never get much further than that.
Okay, have you heard the match since we brought on in the Bucci thing and all that stuff? Did you heard about the Rikishi incident?
I heard he wanted the Tonga Kid to be Rikishi. I did hear that one from Joe
Okay,
Bruin
no,
wanted him to announce it.
Yes, no, this is along that same time, but he finally brought in Keith. He finally brought in Rikishi. We were doing again, I believe the first night we were in Bridgewater. The next night we're at this dome type thing, and it's a summertime where you can open the doors and stuff like that. So first night Rikishi shows up. He's wearing his Kishi gear gimmick, that patent leather thing he used to wear towards the end of his run. And he tells Mike that his ankle's hurt, but that he will still do something quickly. So this was during a weekend that, Bucci was there. His brother, Freddie Spada, was there helping book the show. Old WWF referee. I don't know if you know Freddie Spada. Well, he was there. So Kishi goes in there and works with this kid from California that was up for there was like 40 guys, bro, in the locker room because they were all coming for that clinic with Bucci. So he worked that kid, and I remember them. I go to Gorilla, and I'm watching the match, and he just bell rings, and he super kicks the kid. The kid falls into the corner. Rikishi does his deal. Fans react. He does the stink face. Kid gets up, all selling the deal. Picks him up, driver, 1, 2, 3. That was the match. So next day, we have to be there early because the next day is when this clinic is going on with Bucci training camp. Where they at 11 in the morning. Spada's going nuts, calling Rikishi. He's not answering the phone. Whole day goes on. We do the clinic. You know, at this point, I'm tight with Mike. We used to shoot the shit all the time. He would call me, shoot shit with me, to the point that, you know, along that same time, like, he had offered me to help him with the back, to help him book some of the shows and shit, to be, you know, like his booker along with him. And he told me, I don't know what I'm going to do. Kishi's not answering the phone. I'm like, keep calling him, bro. He's not at the hotel. You know, he's nowhere to be found. So now it's 6:30, still no Rikishi. Show starts at 7. We go on with the show. Match 1 is out there. That goes over fine. There's like probably, this place is small place. There's like 500 people there at this place. And to top it all off, that was on the same time the Benoit incident happened. Just keep that in mind. So we're fresh. We're seeing on the news that wrestlers do steroids. They crazy. They do these horrible things. It's all over the media. Match 2 goes out there, goes out fine. Now, me and Mike Bennett were working that night. And we're on deck. I think we were match 4. Third match goes on there. Mike's on the phone, and I can hear him yelling, "Oh, fuck you. You're not getting no money. Go fuck yourself." Hangs up. Comes over to me. He's like, that was that fat motherfucker on the phone. He says he's coming over here to shut us down. I'm like, yeah, he wants me to pay him another $2,500. Tells me his ankle's hurt. He's just going to come and sign. I told him he could come and sign, but I'm not paying him a dime if he don't get in the ring and wrestle. So I guess Rikishi at that point is down the street or whatever. He's like 10 minutes away from the venue. Match number 3 is in the ring. Me and Bennett are on deck. All of a sudden, the crowd goes nuts. I'm like, yep, he is fucking here. Rikishi walks to the front entrance, pops the crowd. He's like, I'm here to beat the promoter's ass, he says. At this time, Mike, and I've seen Mike, you know, get pissed before, but this time he looked like Flash guy. He just ran around the ring. He knew exactly what this big wrench was, this big-ass wrench, goes underneath the ring, grabs that shit, and proceeds to stop the match. The match stopped. It just stopped. It was weird. The guy stopped wrestling and took corners. Mike goes on the open mic and says, "My name is Mike Sparta. I'm the reason all you people are here tonight. This fat motherfucker right there stole my money last night. He just shook his dirty ass and didn't wrestle. He was going to do the same tonight. And I told him to go fuck himself. So if you want to try me, come and do it, you fat motherfucker." And this is in the open mic now. So now, when that happens, Rikishi starts walking towards Mike. Mike is like stretching out and doing all these things with the wrench in his hand. At this point, you know, another guy that unfortunately passed away, Rosie, he was booked on the show. And they're related, you know, him and Rikishi are related. He's been doing Mike's shows consistently since he got off TV. Mike was using him. So, you know, he was happy, you know, working there. So he's thinking this guy's going to fuck our bookings now because I'm your family. So if you fuck up, he's not going to use me no more. So Rosie was pissed. He run out there and tells Rikishi to get the fuck out, to stop the shit, to just go to the hotel. Boys are coming out trying to grab them. They grab Mike, bring him in the back. Me and Bennett are still on deck. I'm like, Mike, calm down. Let them fucking take Rikishi. You know, the cops are on their way, whatever. Let the fucking head. No, fuck him, guy in Vega. He wants to be a tough guy. I'm gonna get my boys after him. I'm gonna call my boys in Brockton. He's done. I'm like, Mike, just let it be. So, anyways, there was this kid that did a ninja gimmick. And back then, you could travel with anything. You know, kid was traveling with a real katana. And he had it in the back, set with his gear and whatever, out back. Mike's like strolling around. He's like, I'm telling you, I'm not scared of him, whatever. All of a sudden, Mike's like, is that a sword? Sees the katana there, grabs it, storms out the curtain, pulls the thing out. People at that point start screaming. You can hear ladies screaming. I'm looking out the freaking curtain. There's parents grabbing their kids and just storming out the fucking sides of the building. Mike's like, come on, you fat motherfucker. I'm going to carve you like a turkey. Whatever the fuck he said, man, at that point in time. So people started running away. Finally, the thing got cleared. Yes, me and Mike were still on deck, and we had to go out there and wrestle after that main event that went on before us and try to get a reaction out of these people. The ones that were left, we went from like 500 to like 2 that stood back and finished off the show. But, you know, that if you wasn't there, you would think I was lying. And there's actual video footage of this fucking thing. I want to see it, man. There's actual footage of that incident.
That was in Bridgewater at that dome?
The Bridgewater was at the school. The next night we were somewhere near Bridgewater. I don't recall the town, but I know we were nearby because Mike would run, you know, back-to-back cities like nearby. The next night, I don't know if it was Mansfield. I'm not sure if it was Mansfield, but we're inside this dome place that you could open the doors. It was summertime. Bucci was there. He said, guys, I was never here. But at the same time, he was calling somebody from the office, telling them that all this shit happened. You know, they were laughing about it. It was great, man. It was definitely one of those stories that will live on.
And Mikey B had to be like brand new, just starting out at that point, right?
No, Mike was actually already, he was, this is 2007, so Mikey was already getting some matches on TV. Him and Bryce Andrews, remember him?
That was
Bob Evans.
Who did he go by before
Bob Evans guy.
Didn't he have a different name before that? The tall guy? Did a German gimmick for a while?
No, I don't think. But the German gimmick is if it's the same guy, you're talking about Joseph Von Schmidt. Is that who you're talking about? I know Bryce wasn't that tall. You might be talking about Michael Singh. Mike. He used to team up with the other kid, the bald-headed. He shaved his head bald. He actually did some AEW a while back. They were a tag team. That's who you're talking about, I think.
No, I can't think of the guy's name. In like 2002, he changed the German gimmick. Before that, he was from Maine, I think. He had blonde hair.
Yeah, that might have been Mike Singh.
He went to WWE for a little while and played like a accountant or something.
Oh, you're talking about Brian Black.
Yeah, Brian Black. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, big Brian Black. Nah, not Brian Black. Brian Black was before Bennett. Bryce was one of Bob Evans' guys, you know. But at the time, Mike was already doing like dark matches and stuff like that. Like he had done like Sunday Night and all that shit. You know, he was already
Sunday Night Heat and stuff. I didn't know you were talking about 2007. I thought you were talking about like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, 2000.
Around
that's Brian Black. He was Palmer Cannon when they signed him to WWE.
There you go. See, I never seen that stuff. Somebody told me that and sent me a video clip of it. I was like, holy shit. I didn't even know he made WWE till like 6 months ago or something since I was doing this YouTube.
Yeah, he was signed for a little while. But yeah, Mike and I were still on deck, had to go out there, have that match. And yeah, definitely one of those experiences that you'll never forget. Mike was a hell of a character, man. He would fire me one night and he would hire me back the morning of the next show. You know, he was just funny character. And he would call me private. I had his number. He would call me private like at 6 a.m. John Vega, forget about last night. Come up tonight. I'm like, all right, Mike, I'll see you tonight.
Somebody else said that. I think it might have been Joe Bruin, that he'd call and like cancel stuff and change stuff and say a bunch of stuff. And then he'd call back like and say,
Yeah.
forget about all that. Forget it. Like
Yeah.
delete everything I just said.
Yeah, he was a funny one, man. I'll give you a quick one, another quick one of Mike. We were it was Perez and I. We were still doing the Desert Destroy gimmick. In the opening match, it was Ken Doane, Shockwave, doing this thing with this guy, the Highwayman. He was a manager. And Highwayman was supposed to go out there with the third guy that was going to join us in the main event later on to disrupt that match. And they blew the fucking angle. They blew the finish. So Mike, we're in Kent. This one I remember the place and all. I'm, pretty good. I remember in places. We're at Canton, Massachusetts, and it's like an ice skating rink. And this place is, again, full of people. And there's kids, like both aisles are full of kids. So before the show starts, Mike's giving his speech, and he's like, guys, there's a bunch of kids out there. You watch your fucking mouth. You keep it clean, or you're not going to work for me. I'll fucking fire your ass, shit you to the office. And this speech came right before Danny Davis had locked them in the bathroom for like 15 minutes. The one of the bathrooms had the latch on the outside for whatever reason. And Danny locked them in there. And Mike's banging in the door, threatening not to pay people. And it was great. But anyways, he did that speech. Show starts. Perez, Sarge, and myself at Gorilla, because we're doing a running once this thing happens in the ending of the match to set up the main event. The Highwayman goes out, fucks up the fucking angle. Mike storms out the freaking Gorilla position, and he goes down the aisle. He's like, that motherfucker, in front of the kids that he just sent out to swear. That motherfucker, and he's yelling at the guy to get in the back and storm through the curtain. Before he did that, Sarge looks at me and Perez and he's like, did he just really said what I thought he said? I'm like, yeah, he did. Comes to the back, Vega, Perez. And meanwhile, we're under the hoods. So he's like, Vega, Perez, get out there right now. And he's yelling it out. So now we have to go out there, do the thing, and then, that's Mike. I wish he was running next week.
I don't know him. I've just heard everybody has a funny story about him, it seems, though.
Man, I worked for him for 10 years, so I got a lot of funny stories with Mike Sparta.
I know I almost didn't film shows because the first show I filmed was a WWA show, and they tried to kick me out and take my camera away because I was filming it. They told me to shut it off.
You film you fucking around. That's my footage. Trademark. Get your fuck out of my building. Do you remember, before we move on from Mike, because we could film a whole episode on just the fucking guy. Do you remember this guy that used to go to all the shows? There was two guys. There was one with a Hogan hat. And he used to go to all the shows back in the day. Tall guy, used to wear a backwards Hogan hat.
Oh, yeah.
Boys used to call
take pictures.
Yeah. He'd go to all the shows. So we're at the Quincy Armory for WWA. And the Quincy Armory, the bathrooms where the fans go are the same ones that the boys share. And the locker room's like a double door in the basement downstairs. And the bathroom's right next door to that. So if you go down the stairs to go to the bathroom, you might be able to peek in the locker room through the little windows and double doors. So Hogan Hat is coming down the stairs, the locker room's still kind of light. It's early.
I think that's what everybody calls him, Hogan Hat.
Yes. So he's coming down the stairs. Another guy that unfortunately passed away, Paul Enormous, is in the locker room. We're having a conversation. You know, Paul was a good friend of mine. And Tonga Kid was there. That was one of the nights that he wanted Tonga Kid to be Rikishi. So Hogan Hat's coming down the stairs. Mike's in there talking near the double doors, and he sees Hogan
Didn't he
Hat
end up
coming
going by
down
Kishi or something?
Yes, he did that. And then we had another guy from New Jersey that was One Warrior Nation. And he thought he was the Ultimate Warrior. He had all the get up, the robes. You know, he was siliconed up with the muscles and shit. And Mike tried to pull him off as the Ultimate Warrior. But that's another great story. So Hogan Hat comes down the stairs. Mike sees him. He bolts through the double doors. He's like, where the fuck do you think you're going there? Hogan Hat says, I'm going to the bathroom, Mike. He's like, oh, hell no, you're not. You're trying to sneak into the locker room, aren't you? So Hogan Hat again says, no, I'm not, Mike. I'm going to the bathroom. So now Paul Enormous, myself, and Tonga Kid are near the door, and we're listening to the back and forth fucking bullshit going on with Mike and Hogan Hat. Finally, Mike's like, turn around and get the fuck upstairs. This is my building. You're not going to the bathroom. Get the fuck upstairs, he says. So Hogan Hat tells him, no, the fuck I'm not. I'm going to the bathroom. Mike's like, you want to go to the bathroom? You got to go through me. Try me. Gets on Hogan's Hat's face, and Hogan Hat just turns sideways and decks him. And Mike drops. And he just, as fast as he went down, Mike got up. And there was like one of these big jugs, you know, the army jugs that you put water or gasoline on them. And it was full. So Mike tries grabbing that to like try to, I guess, toss it at the guy or hit him with it and couldn't pick it up. So when that went south, he looked at me and he looked at Paul Enormous. He's like, Vega, Enormous, get this motherfucker. We're laughing so much that we couldn't do anything else but laugh. So he just got up, went upstairs, and had Hogan Hat fucking escorted out by the cops. But this was another great night. You know, that not a lot of people would say these things because it just, these are things that happen at the spur of the moment, and you just had to be there to witness them, you know? It was great.
That's awesome.
It was great. We're gonna, is that guy around still, the Hogan Hat guy?
I don't go to shows. I haven't been to a show since 2004.
We'll have to find that motherfucker, so he's gonna confirm it for you. Not the only guy to knock Mike Sparta in front of the boys, Hogan Hat.
That's awesome. He's like the straw hat guy of New England.
Yeah. That was fucking great. Oh, no, you're not going to the bathroom. Oh, yes, I am.
You gotta go through me. Okay.
He just popped him, man. I was shocked. I wasn't expecting the dude, because the dude, you look at the guy, he looked like, you know, he looked like a guy that was kind of, you know, easygoing, and you know, you didn't expect that guy to fucking hit anybody. But that night he did,
kind of
man.
looks like
He
Shaggy or something, don't he? That's the way I remember him, like Shaggy or something.
Yeah. Tall guy, you know, kind of goofy looking, and you know, like I said, you wouldn't expect that dude to knock the fuck out, you know.
This is the Hardcore Nightmare, the original Beast of New England. I'm here to tell you, follow my boy on ChopsVideo. Hit the like button. You can find me on @BullDread on Instagram, or Michelangelo Kalo, a.k.a. the original Beast of New England, on Facebook, or @BullDread on Twitter. Woo!
This is Gino Martino, and you're watching New England Independence. Don't go away, or I'll come in the TV and grab you.